Wang and Lu were two young, curious Chinese boys. They were interested in the long lines of people that formed every day to meet an old man that was called the sage. Day after day, Wang and Lu would observe from a distant willow tree the lines of people. They noticed the sad and troubled demeanor with which clients entered the sage's humble home and the joy and contentment with which they exited. Wang and Lu were puzzled. How can one aged, long bearded, crooked man help and know so much? He must be tested. The two curious boys came up with a plan to fool the wise man. Wang would entrap a bird between his closed palms while Lu would ask if the bird was Lu would ask, if the bird was dead or alive. If the sage said dead, Wang would let the bird fly free. If the wise man said alive, Wang would crush the poor bird and let it fall dead to the ground. This was a flawless plan, thought by the lads. Very early the following day, before the morning lines began to form, the boys were rapping at Sage's door. After some time, a light came on, and then a creaking window opened. Out popped half the head of a sleepy old bearded man. Good sage, is the bird in my friend's hand dead or alive? Sticking out his head a bit more with brightened eyes, the wise sage looked closely at both boys, more so at Wang's clasped hands, which entrapped a poor bird. Giving more thought, then nodding, the sage responded, while now stroking his long, white beard. The future of the bird is in your hands. Despite the fact that Jeremiah 29:11-13 were written expressly for the exiled Israelites, we are also the recipients of the promises God offered to them. God yearns for us to diligently seek His presence and to pursue Him with all our hearts. After all, He's not a sage, He is the epitome of wisdom. Jeremiah 29:11 can provide you peace by showing you that God is with you even when things are difficult. Like in the case of that bird, your situation won't change right away. But if you trust God to work it out, you can experience His peace in that situation. All that was lost can be recovered through God. In retrospect, I'm sure that there were times when you and I could have declared that the changes that God has made in our lives would have astounded us. Some of the things that we hoped for, prayed for, waited for to change did not necessarily transpire the way we anticipated them. However, in hindsight, it's a wonderful thing, and we are grateful to God that He did not respond to our prayers the way we expected Him to. Like Wu and Lu with the sage's wisdom, they were baffled. Just the same, God wants to wow us with His wisdom. Let's trust His wisdom, His plans for our lives. Jeremiah 29:11 states, "For I know," God speaking, "the plans that I have for you, plans of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end." Another version says, "I have plans to give you a hope and a future." Which do you prefer? A future that you have planned for yourself, or the one God has planned for you? Whatever the difficult situation, whatever that unanswered prayer is, God is working things out for your good so that you and I can have the future He has planned for us, one filled with hope, with a wonderful expected end. Trust God today for His plans to make manifest in your life. Shalom.